One thing we wish our respective teams, or at least one change we wish they would make before the season ends. For the Packers, I feel like you guys are top of the division, the NFC North right now. There's not a whole lot that you should probably want to change, but give me something that you're noticing as a Packers fan that you want them to absolutely take care of right now.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot I want to see him change. There's a couple things I want to see him do before the season ends, and that is extend Aaron Jones. Um, I was pretty shocked they ended up extending David Bakhtiari before they extended Aaron Jones. I figured Aaron Jones was going to come first because we know Green Bay is not afraid to let their star offensive lineman leave. We saw that with Bulaga. I was just pretty surprised they haven't extended Jones yet. It's not really looking good for Jones right now. If I had to bet my money on it, I don't think he's going to be a Packer next year. I'd be surprised if they give him the extension he deserves at this point with the way they just extended Bakhtiari, making him the highest paid lineman in history, offensive lineman. So it's going to be tough to keep him, I guess. Some things I'd like to see them change before playoffs come. The same old, the run defense. um, Interior run defense. They just claimed defensive lineman Anthony Rush off of waivers, who's a huge dude. I think he played for the Eagles last. He's like 360 pounds. Interior defensive lineman. So hopefully he fits in with Kenny Clark and, that the run defense starts to improve. I guess another thing, something's got to happen with Mike Pettin and the defense. The defense looks really – there's times during the game where it's 3rd down and 15, and he's playing really, really soft coverage. Like the defensive backs are playing 15 yards off the ball. It's just – it's ridiculous. Teams almost get a first down every time, and I am on board with the firing of Mike Pettin after this season. I don't really like the way the defense looks right now or at all this year. They've had a couple games where they've looked pretty good. And then they try to say they got back on track because they had a good game against the Chicago Bears offense. And that doesn't impress anybody. I think a local junior varsity high school defense could probably have pretty good success against Mitch Trubisky or Nick Foles. Because Mitch Trubisky is awful. He will always be awful. He's always been awful. He can't throw to his left. Frankly, he can't throw anywhere on the field. We saw that the other day. But, yeah, just the defense is really all I need to change. The Packers just signed Tavon Austin, a former first-round pick from Virginia Tech, who I really used to like watching when he was in his younger days and his college days. If he can fit in good to this offense, he's going to provide a nice little spark. I know he's going to return punts right away. I don't know if he's going to play this Sunday against the Eagles. I would assume so because the Packers cut Darius Shepard the same day they signed Tavon Austin. So I would assume that means he's going to be a returner right away and play some receiver. But, yeah, defense needs to change. Pettin's probably got to go after this year.
Mm-hmm. It's actually kind of crazy when you think about it. Mike Pettin's done some good things with that defense. I think overall, yeah, the run defense has been spotty, but, when you look at it, it's tough to stop the run these days. You have to have a couple of penetrating defensive tackles, linebackers that fill their gaps and that can run sideline to sideline, and it's a tough responsibility to kind of see there. I feel like this is kind of the same old message. Get Aaron Rodgers some help for receivers and get him some help on this defense. But it doesn't seem to matter. This is clearly, if not a better Aaron Rodgers than we've seen that has continued to carry this team throughout. His back's got to hurt at this point. Aaron Rodgers' back has to hurt from carrying this team for so long that it's almost absurd. They're at the top of the division. They're looking great against tough teams. And they're clearly contenders at any portion of any game here. So I guess any team again. So I think this is this defense. It doesn't need to be like a world-beating defense. It doesn't need to be a top 10 defense, but a middle-of-the-pack defense with an Aaron Rodgers-led offense that's clearly revolutionized and revolted here. Holy cow! Watch out, because this, with the way Aaron Rodgers is playing right now in a defense that's improved, if you can stop the run just a little bit, go from I don't know what the Packers are averaging allowing up per game right now, but I think that if it goes to I think if you allow 110 to 120 rushing yards a game and then you let Aaron Rodgers take care of the rest, I think you can win that game. I think that and I think especially against the Vikings, I know it was a little rough, but I think if you can go from look right now, the Packers are averaging 120 yards a game. If you can get that to 100 yards a game, they're allowing 120 yards a game. Excuse me. No, actually, that's their rush offense. I apologize. I'm going to defense here. Um, Come on, defense. Okay, so the Packers right now are allowing about it's 100 about 120 114 yards a game. See, and that's the thing. Against a good team, it's like a passing team. They seem to be having they seem to be firing on all cylinders. But once against a run team, that's where it balances out. Well, that's where you see those bigger rushing totals. So I think you've got a couple of the best corners in the NFL. I love Kevin King. I think he's a tough guy. I think I'm still expecting big things from Josh Jackson. I think he can really turn into something special. But your guys' secondary, I think it's something to really be proud of. The defensive line, I always loved Kenny Clark. He's always been a menace in the middle. So I think if even just stopping just one or two big run plays a game more, I think that's what's going to be the difference. If they can do that, Packers are going to be tough especially as we head into the playoffs here. As far as the Vikings go, I feel like I might be the only sane Vikings left, especially after watching what they continue to do on that offensive line. Right guard Ezra Cleveland should be back this Sunday against the Jaguars. I am going to lose my mind, Tristan. If they do not, I'm telling you right now, if they don't leave Ezra Cleveland at starting right guard and they don't move Brett Jones to left guard, I'm going to lose it. Is it not, in the NFL, is it not one of those things where you want to get your best players on the team, on the field? Like, you want to get your 5 best dudes on that offensive line on the field, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So why wouldn't you replace a guy like Dakota Dozier, who, by the way, has like a 50 – I'm going to look it up to be I think it was Dakota Dozier has a PFF grade right now. He's allowed 2 sacks on the season. Let's see, a PFF grade of 54.3. Okay, not great, not bad. We've seen some worse. Now let's see Brett Jones's PFF grade, who has had 2 straight starts at right guard and has been continually disrespected by the Vikings organization. Okay, yeah, let's look at it. 77.6. Okay, you're telling me you can't move a guard from right guard to left guard and have some semblance of that kind of production? I think if you move Brett Jones to left guard, I mean, this could be incredible. Now, there's a sample size here. Brett Jones has only played 138 snaps. He's had 0 penalties, knocking on wood, and only allowed 1 sack. Dakota Dozier has 700 snaps, so yeah, literally 7 times as more ish than Brett Jones. But he has 6 penalties. 6 penalties and has allowed 2 sacks, multiple pressures. I mean, this guy, he's not the worst player on the team, but he's it's one of those things where if you want to truly get your best people, your best players on the field, you have to quit making excuses. You have to start Brett Jones at left guard, because if the Vikings offensive line after this week should look like left tackle should be Riley Reed, left guard should be Brett Jones, center Garrett Bradbury, right guard should be Ezra Cleveland, and the right tackle should be Brian O'Neill. That should be your starting offensive line. They're big, they're athletic, they're mean. The Minnesota Moving Company has to get it done. They've got to make this change, especially as the Vikings head into this is crunch time. This is do or die, and that's what we're going to get into here a little bit later. But it's just one of those things where if you want the best 5 players on your team, now is the time to put them in. That's all I'm saying. And then as far as defensively, the Vikings' run defense also has been kind of awful. I would like to see more of James Lynch, the rookie 4th-round draft pick out of Baylor. I've seen some great things. I believe he's the Pac-10 or Pac-12 defensive player. I don't remember what it is. But point is, this guy can ball. His first snap, get this, Tristan, I believe one of his first snaps was against Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. He had a sack on Russell Wilson. Do you know how tough it is, especially up the middle? Do you know how tough it is to get a sack on Russell Wilson in general, let alone up the middle? Because, I mean, he's got great pocket awareness. He's athletic. Just give James Lynch a chance. This team really has to, if they want to stop the run, they've got to try some different stuff. You can't just I think the definition of an insanity is doing the same thing twice more than once and expecting a different result. So I know that there's some comfortable they're comfortable with certain players that are in certain situations, but sometimes you just got to throw your playbook out the window and try something new.